Was it a shock for you, this big gamble by President Macron to call this snap election?
Everyone was surprised, even though no one would like to admit it afterwards. After having the visit in Normandy with Joe Biden, people thought everything was tranquil. There were no messages sent out. Suddenly this surprise. And the question everyone was asking all night long was why? Why did he do it?
So why did he do it, do you think? What is the theory, you think?
So either his critics are right and he's so arrogant that he doesn't understand how hated he is and he's going to take a beating in divine justice, or he's a clever strategist and he's calculated that either he can win, or even if he loses these elections, his long-term strategy will benefit.
So can he put it off? I mean, he's had quite a few political gambles in the past and it's kind of worked out for him, more or less, but it has worked out so far. Can he pull this one off by catching by speed a lot the far right and all the opposition with this election?
Yeah, so I'll try not to go into too many details, but one detail that's really important is he just lost a one-round proportional representation election. So French voters vote in European elections. Basically, it's a domestic election. They try to send a message to their own government. They had one round, and so they voted the National Front. But in their normal elections, like this one, there'll be two rounds. In the first round, they'll vote for the National Front, but in the second round, they'll probably have that kind of day after with a hangover, and they'll realize they have to vote responsibly. I think that's his gamble, that he'll do better than he did in the European elections.
Okay, because they did progress, if I read the Rassemblement National. They have 89 MPs at the last legislative election, which was a record number for them. Do you think they will improve that, or can they be the biggest party in Parliament?
No, I think we're going to have, at best, a relative majority, whoever gets it. No party's in a position to get an absolute majority. Even the National Front, now that Marine Le Pen has taken her small 5% and rejoined her family, that only gives the Rassemblement National 40%. They're kind of like a Trump base here. And on the left, the three main left parties, 33%. So Macron doesn't have much room to take from in that sense to get an absolute majority. Even if Le Pen's come, it won't be an absolute majority.
And that is the key here. It looks like no party will be able to really get a majority. So what does that mean for the country for the next 3 years?
Well, when I moved here, Jacques Chirac did exactly the same thing. He called elections when he had a supermajority and he ended up losing the parliament. And we go to cohabitation. So the likelihood is if the National Front performs as well as they did yesterday, they will have the prime ministership and the government. And at that point, the battle will be over leadership. The problem with the right is always leadership. That's why the Republicans are in shambles, because everybody wants to be number one. Marine Le Pen has waited her whole life for power. Will she really accept a young 28-year-old taking her position as prime minister and be patient and take the gamble of trying to win the presidency? Or will she throw him under the bus?
That would be a tricky one for her to do, because obviously he just had a great result at the European election. So that could open the door to some inside battle within the far-right party, you think?
It's a long history of the Le Pens. Bruno Gollnisch, there's been a series of number twos in the National Front, in the Rassemblement National, who have been excluded from the party once they became too popular. Usually, that party is a Le Pen dynasty institution, and Bardella may have done too well.